Hello and welcome. On behalf of my fellow trustees, welcome to the Oscar Heidenstam Foundation, and thank you very, very much for buying one of the foundation videos. The profits of all our videos and any merchandise that we sell goes towards the foundation funds. The foundation honours and gives awards and financial awards to exceptional disabled and able-bodied sports people, whether they be swimmers, hand balancers, gymnasts, people in physical culture, bodybuilding, ballet, dance, on-stage artistry, imposing, so many. And we give those awards annually and sometimes on other occasions. The awards are via nominations from people all over the world, and we make our own nominations, and to date over 23 exceptional people have received our Hall of Fame awards. A brochure accompanies this video and explains a great deal about the foundation and indeed about our merchandise and some aspects of videos, the video footage that isn't included in this particular issue. If you haven't one of those brochures or you'd like some more, just write to me and I'll be happy to respond. The Board of Trustees, or rather the foundation, was founded 2 days after Oscar died on the 21st of March 1991, and my fellow friends formed an independent board of trustees, and we all give our services voluntary, our time, our services, because it's such a pleasure to do things in Oscar's memory. We present our awards, or rather we hold our annual occasions, on the third Saturday of March at the Hotel Marriott, Heathrow, Slough, near London Airport. In 1992 we didn't film the first annual occasion. This was the one that our first Hall of Fame recipient was John Carroll Grimek, I should say, the king of bodybuilding. However, through the kindness of various people, Dave Gentle and Dr. Leo Kenneth Rosa in New York, they sent me audio tapes, and together with the photographs that I have, the audio tapes, it may be that we can produce a tape to cover that, an audio tape with an accompanying brochure with photographs for sale at a later date. In 1993, at our second occasion, which was Reg Parks and other exceptional people, this was filmed by Alan Snashall, a friend of mine in Maidstone, Kent, but due to the available light and sound through the ceiling microphones, the quality isn't quite what Alan would have liked, but we do appreciate his kindness, and indeed the footage is here for you to see. In 1994, the third annual occasion, Hall of Fame, the legendary Steve Reese in the USA. This was filmed by Pat Henry of the Figure and Fitness Centre in Dublin, and we'd like to thank Ivan Dunbar for introducing Pat to us. The quality is superb. In 1995, Chris Dalton of CVS, that's the Complete Video Services in Bristol, did the filming for us, and I must say he has worked so hard on behalf of the foundation and with me over the last few days, and we're now in June 1995, editing down the various video footages. So I have an apology to make that on one of our videos, and on several occasions in fact, it was mentioned that Oscar Heidenstam won the 1939 Mr. Europe. When he did, but it was the Le Plus Belle Athlete d'Europe, which is the best developed athlete in Europe. Also, in part of the video of 1993, part of Reg Park's speech is missing. But I have the audio tape, so in the accompanying brochure his full speech will be listed. And the same for the 1994, where inexplicably part of the speech by Tom Templey in respect of Burt Loveday is missing, and a transcript of that will be published in the accompanying brochure. Chris Dalton and I have spent many hours here, and believe it or not, in England today, the 29th of June, it is now around about 31 degrees centigrade, which is around about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which isn't bad when only a month ago we had 3 white frosts. Time's prevented complete footage of one of our main fundraisers, and that's our grand draw and silent auction, which takes place at our Hall of Fame memorial dinners. And very, very many people kindly donate items to raise funds as prizes, such as videos, cut glass, rare books, chocolates, wines, CD players. The list is endless, but without that generosity we wouldn't have established the foundation. I'd like to thank the following magazines for their publicity. That's Muscle Mag International, Bodybuilding Monthly, Muscle News, Gymnast, also the Fit Body magazine by Dave McInerney, who publishes the British section of Muscle Mag International, and for Body Power up to when it was published. There was special help that I would like to acknowledge from Virgin Atlantic Airways. It goes without saying how much we appreciate everyone that's helped us, and certainly it's given us a great deal of inspiration throughout these last 4 years. And such people have done this on a voluntary basis, without asking, without thought of cost, just to bring enjoyment to other people at our Hall of Fame dinner. The trustees, as trustees, we try to follow the ideals and examples and friendship and the service that Oscar gave in his lifetime. I'm just referring to my notes. I wish time would allow me to name everyone, but there are hundreds. However, I feel in agreement with my fellow trustees that I need to mention certain people, not in particular order, and forgive me if I miss some, but there are many hundreds. But in particular from the USA, Vic Boff of the Old Time Barbell and Strongmen's Association, who publishes his quarterly brochure and gives voice to the foundation and support, and we will do likewise when I launch the Health and Strength magazine in brochure form in support of the foundation, and we will work together with him. Likewise with Jan and Terry Todd of the Iron Game History, wonderful publication as well. We reciprocate information, and they too produce a great deal in support of the fellowship that everybody enjoys in physical culture. George and Tuesday Coates in America, Gene and Russ Warner, Glenn Sunby, president of the International Gymnastics Hall of Fame. That is in Oceanside in California, and worth the air ticket alone to visit. A very dedicated man and a sight to behold, and Glenn, I wish you all the best for the future. Leo Stern, Mr. and Mrs. John and Angela Grimek, Henry Atkins, George Eiferman, Dr. Charles and Mrs. Marjorie Moss, and Jack and Elaine Lane, Ahmed Tani, Johnny Isaacs, John Park, Joe Bender, Harold Zinkin, Dr. Kenneth Leo Rosa, Al Thomas, and of course, as I've just mentioned, John Grimek and Steve Reeves and Deborah and Bill and Judy Pearl. Without them, what would we do? In South Africa, Reg Park, most of us would agree, the greatest British bodybuilder of all time, and his wife, Marion. And Mr. and Mrs. Fox from South Africa, also relatives of Oscar. In Italy, Filippo Massaroni, Biagio Filizzoli, and of course Giuseppe Elito, a tremendous amount of help and support here from David Heidenstam and Mr. and Mrs. Heidenstam, other relatives of Oscar. John Fernley, a particularly good friend, valued friend by all of us. John Addison and Charles Earle, Meg and Bunny Warren of the British Amateur Gymnastics Association, the BAGA, who send in their nominations annually. Also Peter Wilson, the Secretary of the Royal Ballet Benevolent Fund. Ivan Dunbar and Danny Williams, the Chairman and Vice Chairman of NABA, respectively. Beg your pardon, Sylvia and Norman Hibbert. Norman's the Secretary of NABA. Rose and Dave Gentle, PC historians, wonderful friends, wonderful supporters to the foundation, as indeed David Webster from Scotland, David and Margaret and Mitchell from Scotland, John Clements and Kathy, Roy Adams, Reg Island, Josie Corwell, David and Jan Parkin, the late Rube Martin, of course, and Al Murray, Roy and Anna Duval, June and Mike Baker, Joan and Derek Gibbons, Karen and Graham Damon, David Prowse, George and Jenny Cox, John Bubb, Kathy Kelly, Clive Dixon, superb photographer Clive, thank you for all your photographs at our last function, Edward Hankey and Jeff Williams, David Budwell, George Forbes, Hilda and Ted Aston of the Durantes, wonderful balancing act that many of us have seen over the years, gracing the NABA Universe stage and elsewhere. David Bodwell, John Gallacher, John and Christine Gallacher, Don and Vera Durand, David and Margaret Mitchell, Jonathan Nassim and Jengus Jamil, Dawn and Barry Mace and Matt Gatley from Jersey, Ron Thomas, Spencer Churchill, Peter Reed, Marcus Stevenson, Bernie Price and Terry O'Neill, John Citrone and Wade Bennett, Tony Turner, Eric Hartley, Colin and Tina Gillam, Tom Fox, Dr. Brian Chenley, Stan Halin, Bill Hibbert, Mike and Pat Vaughan, Alex McKenna, Mark Parsons, and of course the entire, not last and not least, Bill and Irene Norris, the most famous physical culture family in Britain, and their entire family. Terry, Colin, Jackie, Joanne, Richard, Sally and Sean, Anthony, and of course Beryl Martin as well, all her family. I'd like also to mention, if I may, my thanks to those who sponsored our dinner cards, which are used for autographs and as a memento. And that's Castellan 90, Omnia Travel, Adonis Fitness Products, and Fit Body magazines for men and women. And we do appreciate everyone who, their phone calls, their letters, their checks, money, the items that they donate, everything that helps us to help other people is more than appreciated. I would like to express my sincere and profound gratitude to the Board of Trustees, to our President, Mr. Ian McQueen, the eminent orthopaedic surgeon, and his wife Dawn, to our Vice President, Dr. Tom Temperley, OBE, the Chairman of the Foundation, Cliff Limace from Jersey, and his wife Lily, and to our Vice Chairman, Colin Norris, and his wife Jackie. And finally, to my dear wife Wendy and my children who are now grown up, Ian, Sarah and Jenny, for their unstinted support and help. I couldn't have done it without them, or without the trustees, or without all of you throughout the world who are helping us to help others. Thank you very much. Hello everybody, and thank you very, very much for purchasing this video of the Oscar Heidenstam Foundation Memorial Dinner. This is the 4th Memorial Dinner and Hall of Fame Awards, and we always hold our function at the prestigious Marriott Hotel at Slough Heathrow near London Airport. We will later in the video show you everybody, but right now I would like to show you some of the memorabilia in respect of Oscar Heidenstam. On the table here, we have numerous Mr. Universe, Mr. and Miss Universe annuals going way, way back. physical culture albums that go back from the late 1890s to the early 1900s and through to the present day. This particular point here is when Oscar Heidenstam, who this trust honours, or this foundation honours, when he won the Mr. Europe in 1939 in France. The collages here of photographs are some of the people who are appearing here tonight. Bill Pearl, of course, who is our fourth honoree. We first of all in 1992 had John Grimek, then we had Reg Parks, and last year Steve Reeves, and this year Bill Pearl. And you will notice on here there's Oscar with various celebrities, Bill Pearl, there's Joe Bender who's here tonight, who won the 1962 and 1963 Mr. Universe, with the late Paul J. Getty at Sutton Manor, some of the judging at one or two of the Universe contests. We have photographs of John Grimek and Angela Grimek, who are also here tonight. This is a collage of Oscar with his family when he was a young lad, to show Oscar in his prime when he was a young man at the 1939 Mr. Europe, who incidentally Bert Loveday and Ian McQueen, our president, actually competed in that year. The various medallions and trays have been presented to Oscar at various times. He won, in fact, over 190 medals and cups for swimming, gymnastics, bodybuilding, everything to do with the performance of physical culture. Over here we have his personal scrapbooks, other awards, the file for his OBE just before he died. Here we have a card that was presented to him when he was 70 years of age, signed by all the guests. Some of his diplomas, rather unique. This diploma was presented to Oscar Heidenstam for winning the Mr. Europe as it was then in 1939. We've also found a photograph of Oscar Heidenstam receiving this particular diploma. Oscar Heidenstam's family passed over many items of physical culture to us for the foundation. We have here a solid bronze, we had this made, a solid bronze statuette, solid mahogany, hallmark silver. These were the photographs that were used to produce the statuette here, donated by myself, Colin Norris, David Webster, David Gentle, just to give an idea of how difficult it may have been to produce a statuette after Oscar died in 1991. This is the Memorial Shield, the Hall of Fame Memorial Shield. I will now put my glasses on. You will see there that we have John Grimek in 92, Reg Parks in 93, Steve Reeves in 94, and Bill Pearl in 1995. Hallmark silver, solid mahogany, worth hundreds of pounds. This particular cup was given to us by Cliff LeMace, our present chairman. This one was won by Oscar in 1953, and Oscar presented it to Cliff LeMace, our chairman, to the Jersey Barbell Club, which Oscar spent many happy years at Jersey, and it was his favourite place. That is the cup that was Oscar won, which he presented to the Jersey Barbell Club, and now it's been given to us for the foundation. And here we are again, and as you can see, our guests are now arriving, and there will be 160 guests with us this evening. We usually put a limit of 150, but there were one or two people that we could not refuse this year, so we're now at 160, but people are still arriving.
I did that last year, two. Only 4 years. Very fair.
No, I assure you, the award up in that cafe.
Oh, yes,
You're staying next year.
I call it almost.
I couldn't talk. Oh no, you were going. You were like yes, and you were sound like yes, all the birds.
A career that is absolutely remarkable. John will tell you all about it, spanning from the 1950s to the present day, because he's the current Masters Mr. Universe, but he also goes back to the Junior Britain days. John, your records?
Well, I won the Junior Mr. Britain when I was 17. I'm 52 now, so we're talking about 35 years ago.
And your major awards are?
The Junior Mr. Britain, the Mr. Britain, the Senior Mr. Britain, 4 times Mr. Universe class winner. Senior, then it's Masters Mr. Europe, Mr. Universe, Marble World Bodybuilding Champion. That's the current one. Then I was British Powerlifting Champion in the young days.
That's it. Well, John was a notable strong man, as probably many thousands of people have seen. And John won the Masters NABA Mr. Universe last year, also the Masters Mr. Europe last year, and also his class in the Mr. World 2 weeks beforehand. Pipped by 1 point for the overall. But John, welcome, glad to see you. Come back to you later.
Okay then.
About 1980. Hubert, your brother. Hubert Thompson. You remember Hubert? Well, we kept in touch for 45 years. I'm supposed to have seen him. Good to see you. God bless you. You'll let me say
We're gonna need a picture.
With us this year.
Yeah, of course you are. I'm sorry I shouldn't name off.
Good to see you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good to see you.
Brian Bryson, I haven't met you, but I'm talking
As
about
I showed you.
I'm a British and one of the universities you are at my wife.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. I don't put the
Sally, am I supposed to get chatted
Introduce you all to Mr. Ian McQueen, the president of the Oscar Heidenstam Foundation, and of course Mr. Bill Pearl, the 4th annual recipient of the Memorial Hall of Fame. Mr. Bill Pearl.
Ian, how are you, sir? I have this chronic back problem, and I have a terribly bad knee and a bad shoulder. Can you help me?
You want to take up bodybuilding?
Well, I'm planning on it, but at my age, do you really think it'd do any good?
Probably not.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to take your seats, please now. You can take your drinks with you to your table. There is a table planned.
Still camera.
That was video.
Here's a camera.
Why didn't you come last night when I knew a couple of days ago when I could jump around here? I remember you.
What happened?
I remember you, Grimek, from that before. He always shows up at the dumbest times.
John!
He's been between us ever since I've known him.
Well, he's still after Anthony, though. He's not
She understands, though. Don't you, don't
Surely.
You both well?
Oh, we're fine.
I'm well. I can't move. I should be in the hospital. I can't walk. No way. Really? Mr. Shake hands with Al Murray, then he can't walk either. Get up.
I would like to introduce the chairman of the Oscar Heidenstam Foundation, Mr. Cliff Lemastry.
Honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, fellow trustees, welcome to this, our 4th annual Oscar Heidenstam Foundation dinner. I don't know about you, but it doesn't seem a year till the last one. Time just seems to fly by. As Henry VIII said to each of his wives in turn, I shall not keep you too long. I would like to say a special welcome to everybody who's travelled from overseas, our friends from Italy, from Belgium, and I would particularly like to welcome our friends who've travelled over here from the USA to be with us tonight. Firstly, a man who was the very first competitor to win both the amateur and professional Mr. Universe in consecutive years. He's here with us tonight with his charming wife Jane, Mr. Joe Bender. Joe, take a bow. And there's a man here without whose presence at these functions, they just wouldn't be quite the same. Though I think he might have had a decent haircut before coming here tonight. He's a very dear friend of the foundation and someone who's done a lot of hard work for us. Will you please welcome the one and only Dr. Leo Rosa. See what I mean about the haircut? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a man here with us tonight who has been said by no other than our chief guest of honour here tonight, Mr. Bill Pearl, has said of this man, without him, there would be no Bill Pearl as we know him today. He's a legend in his own lifetime, Mr. Leo Stern. And last, but by no means least, we have with us back tonight, and we're very, very pleased to have him back with us once again, our very first recipient of the Roll of Honour, Mr. John Grimek. You know, Oscar once told me of a very amusing story about John on his very first visit to London. It seems he was crossing Westminster Bridge at the time, and you know what John is for getting things right. He's a stickler for this, everything must be right. He approached a passerby and said, "Sir, could you please tell me, this river, is it pronounced Thames or Thames?" "Thames," the man replied. "Gee," said John, "I'm a little surprised at this. I always thought it was Thames." "You sure about this?" "Yes," the man replied. "I'm certain." Sorry about that, folks. Well, I'm now going to hand you over to your compere for the evening, our Vice Chairman, Mr. Colin Norris. Thank you.
We're met tonight in the memory of a man whose unselfish concern for others touched many lives, Mr. Oscar Heidenstam. Although tonight's money that's going to be raised, we would like your encouragement, suggestions and help throughout the year to raise more money. This will enable the foundation to honour and help others in a way that Oscar would have approved of. I was privileged to conduct the funeral of Oscar Heidenstam, and it was during that service that I realised how much he meant to others. I looked out on the congregation of about 200 men, mostly bodybuilders, crying like babies. It was then that I realised that not only I knew he was a special person, but millions and thousands throughout the world knew as well. We, the Trust, want to keep his memory alive and his ethics alive. And with your help, we endeavour to do that. And in keeping with his beliefs and the beliefs of the trustees, we would like to give thanks for the food we're about to eat. If you wish to join me in this prayer, you may. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we thank you for the travelling mercies for each one of us that you've brought us here safely. We thank you for the food that's before us. We pray, Lord, that you make us mindful of others' needs. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. You're going to find me popping up now and again during the evening, leading you through. But all I've got to say now is enjoy your food, enjoy the company around the table, and we'll tell you as the evening progresses how it's going to go. So enjoy yourself. On behalf of the trustees, we invite you to eat. This part of our evening by introduces you one of the trustees and secretary of the foundation, Mr. Malcolm Wyatt.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for all your generosity throughout the year, your letters and phone calls. We've raised a great deal of money during the year because of your generosity. I can't mention everybody by name. I would like to mention Roy Adams, who is from Liverpool, a very close friend of Reg Park's, who was very kind to the large photographs of John Grimek, Reg Park, Steve Reeves and Bill Pearl. He has had those done single-handed, brought them down here and donated them to the foundation. Thank you on behalf of the trustees. I will keep these as brief as possible because I had a sheaf of 45 letters in relation to this dinner alone in the last 10 days, but I would like to pick out 3 or 4 in particular, and that was a phone call from Reg Parks, one from Russ Warner, one from George Coates, who wish us all, and Bill Pearl in particular, every congratulations for this evening. Vic Boff from the Association of Barbell and Strongmen's Association, who supports us and we reciprocate our support, has written thanks to this hotel today, dear Malcolm, etc. On behalf of our association, we send congratulations to Bill Pearl on this prestigious occasion for being selected to receive the Oscar Heidenstam Memorial Foundation Hall of Fame Award. Bill Pearl, guest of honour, is a most worthy choice. Truly a gentleman, a super champion whose incredible contributions have enriched the legacy of the physical culture and iron game history. Again, our best wishes to Bill Pearl and to everyone present. Many thanks to the foundation for their loyalty and support in helping to preserve the history of the iron game and indeed our fellowship. We are with you in spirit for a most enjoyable evening. Sincerely, Vic Boff. I would like now just to give a few moments to reflect a thought for people who are no longer with us during the last 12 months since we met, and that is Mr. Pat Breen, Fred Walker, both of NABA, Bill Stevens, and from the USA, mighty Paul Anderson. There is something on your memento card, a special young lady called Cressida Merritt Webb. Unfortunately, she is a ballerina. I won't say more than that, but her understudy has been taken ill, and it's a gala performance today, and the management had to cancel, her company had to cancel her coming. They faxed, phoned, and I've already received, beg your pardon, I've had a letter and the facts today, and the foundation are going to arrange something in the future for Cressida Merritt Webb, and when I publish something at Christmas which you will receive, all will be revealed. I would like now to come on to somebody rather special. Somebody in November, when I was invited over to attend the Academy Awards of Bodybuilding and Fitness Awards in Los Angeles, and I stayed in San Diego, and I was invited to the house of Leo Stern. And Leo, thank you for your hospitality very much, and I understand that you enjoy Harvest Bristol Cream Sherry. My wife Wendy will now present Leo with a bottle of Harvest Bristol Cream from ourselves for your hospitality. There is another point, and I'm going to call on our chairman, Mr. Cliff LeMace, to make another special presentation to you, Leo. And this is a special presentation to you, Leo, from the foundation, and our chairman, Mr. Cliff LeMace, is going to present it to you, and is inscribed as follows: presented to Leo Stern by the Oscar Heidenstam Foundation in recognition of your unique contribution to physical culture as a renowned coach, photographer, ambassador. And it is engraved with the foundation emblem and today's date. It is a hand-engraved cut glass paperweight, Royal Shakespeare crystal, and the base is solid mahogany, and that was kindly made by Derek Gibbons, who has made the mahogany clock in the silent auction. Derek Gibbons is down here, so thank you very much, Derek, for that, and congratulations, Leo.
This brings us on to a very special gentleman here tonight. Again, this gentleman's a legend in his own lifetime. You know who I mean, Mr. Bob Woolger. It's a great pleasure for us to welcome Bob. Not only Bob tonight, but his family and friends, who are very many. Uncle Bob, as he is known to many, is one of the pioneers of physical culture in Great Britain and weight training. Bob opened his first club way back in 1930, which soon became well known through the pages of Health and Strength and other journals, and people passing on his great talent as just about the finest of his kind in the country. It is often said, behind every successful man, there's an even better woman, and with this case there's no exception. When Bob was a young lifeguard, he met his wife Vera back in 1935. Their happiness and success was absolutely limitless. Vera was a professional dancer with the world-famous Tiller Girls. I'm sure we've all heard of them. And when their children came along, Diane, Bob Jr. and Joanne, they were naturally guided towards a healthy lifestyle. After a spell as a PTI during the war years, Bob, joined by Vera, reopened the Bob Woolger Barbell Club, which actually catered for many other physical activities besides weight training, bodybuilding, etc. Bob was also a famous health and strength leaguer, but Bob's real claim to fame was that as a sports and entertainments manager at the Sunshine Health Club in Hayling Island. Bob's effervescent attitude, advice and friendship was to all an inspiration to many thousands of people. Bob organised many sporting events, activities during the late 40s, 50s, 60s, one of which was the South Britain in Portsmouth. He was an excellent compere, fronting many, many shows, including the annual Mr. Britain and Miss Britain shows. All of the family either supported or were involved during this great era. I'll just change over here. We all know of his daughter Diane. She's almost a legend as well as Bob. And the Diane Bennett Glamour Girls. And of course her famous husband Wag, who was not only a top physique star, but one of Britain's strongest men. Both are still active in bodybuilding and physical culture. Bob's enthusiasm hasn't diminished one bit over the years. Indeed, he still runs his famous health studio, which takes up 3 floors of his own home in Portsmouth, would you believe? And remember, Bob is just 82 years young. Bob, many congratulations. You're a great example to all of us. And I would now like to hand over to another fine young gentleman who's with us tonight to tell you a little bit more about the personal side of Bob, our other great friend here, Mr. Bill Norris.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I've got 2 minutes to talk about someone I've known practically 60 years. But the main thing I know Bob about, he's very caring, and we used to go, the wife and I used to go and take these kids we had of ours down the sunshine, and for some unknown reason in those days, our summers were much hotter than they are now. We're freezing now, we know. We're in the Arctic Circle. But he used to come round 4 or 5 times a day, keep them kids out of the sun, don't get them sunburned. And that's the main thing I remember about Bob. All the other things are pretty good as well. But those things, he was very caring, and for me and for others. Don't get drunk tonight, Bill, will you? Right. Okay, Bob, we wish you all the best. Thanks very much. I'll get out there. Thank you, Bill. That was great.
Right, now Chairman Mr. Cliff LeMace is now going to present a Royal Briley cut glass crystal tankard. It is engraved with the foundation emblem and engraved with the date, of course, today, and also to Robert Bob Walger, a pioneer of physical culture. Congratulations, Bob.
I'm not supposed to say this, but what I remember about Bob Walger, we used to have a topsy-turvy night in the holiday camp, where the men dressed up as women and the women dressed up as men. And it was the Health and Strength League Week, and to see all these bodybuilders dressed up as women for a gala evening, Bob included, I just, the mind boggles. That's why I'm so kinky now. No, I tell you, well, Mum, I had to tell you. Malcolm, you're back on.
Thank you very much, Colin. We come to rather a special young man. On your memento card, we have a young man mentioned, Mike Hawthorne, and he's sitting here. You stay down, Mike. And he's also accompanied by Terry Aldridge. Now, young Mike Hawthorne was nominated by the BAGA, the British Amateur Gymnastics Association, for an annual award. And Mike, you joined the honorees in 1992 of Celeste Nandiker, in 93, Philip Mason, and in 94, Mrs. Zena Platten. Mike is not only a gymnast, he's a swimmer, he's a diver, he's a trampoliner, but more than that, he is deaf and dumb. It didn't stop him from following a career in all those disciplines, so much so that he has won an incredible array of local, national and world honours. 22 gold medals, 18 silver, 7 bronze, as an individual and as a team member, and has travelled as far, apart from in this country, Switzerland, Germany, USA, Australia, you name it, he's been there. Trevor Lowe, the editor of Gymnast, phoned me not so long ago to say that Mike's disability, as far as he is concerned, doesn't exist. His enthusiasm and energy for gymnastics and trampoline creates inspiration for everybody that you come in contact with Mike. Megan Bunny Warren, who actually sent the nomination in from the BAGA, had told me that you were always so good in doing charity functions for other people. and raising money without a thought of any cost. You're indeed a very special young man, and we would like to honour you with a special diploma. The diploma, apart from the top wording, reads, "In recognition of your outstanding endeavour which has served to inspire and benefit others." And Mr. Cliff LeMace is going to, our chairman, will present this to you. Cliff. We also have, Mike, a cheque from the foundation to you. Mike's ambition was to meet Nadia Comaneci, and he did her once, and somebody took a photograph and it didn't come out. So perhaps he can either buy a good camera or he can go and travel to see her. And also the background to the foundation contained in that envelope. And there is one other thing, Michael. Thank you very much. Another association, the International Gymnastics Hall of Fame Association in Oceanside in California, who support this foundation. Glenn Sunby, the president, has sent me some very, very unique magazines for you, and I'm sure other people here would like to browse through them. They are remarkable, and they are for you as well.
I'd like now to hand over to the Vice President of the Oscar Heidenstam Memorial Fund and Dr. Tom Tembley, OBE.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, honoured guests, I speak with a mixture of sadness that Rube is not here with us, and some pleasure that the Oscar Heidenstam Foundation recognises his achievements in this our first ever posthumous award. The trustees of the foundation wish to go on record in appreciation and recognition of the accomplishments of a supreme strength athlete, all-round physical culturist, and a lovable and kindly man, Reuben Joseph Martin. This evening, Rube's vivacious wife Beryl honours us with a presence to accept our award. She is supported by her family and club members and all her friends. Rube's legendary exploits and accomplishments leave us all with many wonderful memories of it. As a supreme athlete, a warm, kindly human being, and a man with a great sense of humour. Rube was born on March 15, 1921, weighing 14.5 pounds. No indication there of the Herculean proportions, 6 foot tall, 190 pound athlete that he was to become. In his youth, Reuben was an apprentice tailor, a profession that he later sorely tested when he grew to such a size and breadth. During the war, Reuben was a physical training instructor in the RAF, and because of his great size and phenomenal broad shoulders, had great difficulty in obtaining uniforms to fit him. While still in the forces, he was able to continue to train, and subsequently won the All India Olympic weightlifting title. Rube also excelled in gymnastics, boxing, field athletics. He ran the 100 yards in 10.3 seconds. In swimming, he covered 100 yards in 60 seconds. Was a stunt diver, played basketball, hockey, acrobatics, hand balancing, strength feats, weightlifting, and in 1947 he won the British heavyweight weightlifting title. He was a natural all-round athlete in the true sense of the word. In the field of bodybuilding, Rube was many years before his time. People in the 1940s weren't ready for his Herculean, highly defined muscular physique. I recall an early photograph of him in health and strength. in the late 1940s. At that time, such muscularity and size were almost beyond belief. His physique set a precedence that aspiring bodybuilders of the time all tried to emulate, and changing the whole perspective of British bodybuilding at that time. Rube graced the Mr. Universe stage on many occasions. In 1948, he came second to Steve Reeves in the tall class and could compete against such notables as John Grimek, Reg Park, Bill Pearl. In fact, I recall watching the judging of the 1955 Universe at the Grafton Rooms in St John's Wood and trying to see around a pair of the broadest shoulders I'd ever seen. One didn't need to see his face to know it was Rube Martin. Of all the many facets of physical culture that he excelled in, Herculean balancing was Rube's forte. Initially, in the late 40s and early 1950s, he formed the Four and subsequently the Three Martinis, a Herculean balancing act that led to the formation of the famous L'Etoile de Mille that comprised Rube, Len Talbot and Rusty Sellers. They opened at the Folies Bergère and toured the various theatres for many years. As I recall, Bert Loveday and I went to see their fabulous act at the Bolton Grand Theatre, where Rube performed such feats as pull overs at arm's length with Rusty Sellers in a full handstand and holding Rusty in a full balance on his forearm. Rube later teamed up with a beautiful, rather special Follies girl, Beryl, who subsequently became his wife. They toured the world together, performing in cabaret at many prestige venues, including the London Savoy and the Dorchester Hotel. Rube also ran a number of gyms where he imparted his wisdom and knowledge to many up-and-coming enthusiasts. He was involved in television and film work and through the Tough Guys Film Stunt Agency. I recall watching him in the film Oliver many times, where Rube played a cameo as a strongman street performer. Like Bill Norris, Bert Loveday and Bob Wilder, Rube and Beryl, along with members of their respective families, are the pioneers of British physical culture. He'll be long remembered for his charity work and the inspiration and enrichment in life he gave to others. Last year, on March 17th, a service of thanksgiving for the life of Rube was held at St Paul's Church, Covent Garden. There is no worthy tribute to him than expressing the words of the service by the members of Rube's gym. To quote, "Rube was one of the great characters of our time, larger than life itself. He was our inspiration. We miss him so much and we'll never forget him. Rube was a true professional and a perfectionist in all that he did. He was a man of great kindness and humour, a wonderful husband, father and granddad. It was an honour for me to have known him." Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to hand over to a friend of his, Jaime Bender.
On guests, trustees, the Oscar Heidenstam Committee, ladies and gentlemen, I was asked by Malcolm, what's the matter? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was asked by Malcolm Wyatt, who knew Rube and myself, had an association of about 50 years, to relate a few personal reminiscences of our Rube. We of course all know of his legendary strength feats and hand balancing act, but the Oscar Heidenstam Committee thought it would be a nice departure for once to dwell on other lighter aspects of Rube's varied goings-on. You must have read this past week of Nigel Mansell missing the first Formula One Grand Prix because he couldn't get in the car. Well, I remember going someplace with Rube in his car, which, by the way, was a Mini. Can you imagine Rube trying to squeeze into it? As we were driving along, we noticed a car alongside us with the driver furiously gesticulating. Rube was sometimes a bit absent-minded when he was driving. Right, Bill? This driver eventually pulls up several cars ahead and jumps out shaking his fist. Rube, not knowing what he was supposed to have done, nor myself, started to uncurl himself from the Mini, finally rising to his full height and width. Upon seeing this huge man emerging from a Mini, it frightened the life out of him, this other driver, and then in great haste beat a hasty retreat. You see, you couldn't tell how big a person was sitting in a Mini, so be careful. Every year, with the advent of summer, all the lifters and bodybuilders gravitated to the open-air Tottenham Lido. Rube loved diving, and his forte was to climb the steps going up to the 30-foot high board. Rube always started with a tiger bend, then into a handstand, preparing to dive off into the pool 40 feet below. But Mrs. Blinder's a bat. Couldn't see the bloody water. So we had to stand below and make sure there's nobody in there to say, all right, Rube, it's okay, you can dive off now. Which he did. I would like to tell you of an incident which today is really topical. And we read of people being intimidated in trains and buses. Now, Rube was really a softer teddy bear. We were in the tube train together, and the passenger was becoming abusive and belligerent to other passengers. Rube and I were sitting in the next carriage, and eventually we both had enough. I looked at Rube, then he looked at me, then Rube rose to his feet, went into the next carriage, and without any preliminaries got hold of this obnoxious person by the shoulders and elevated him above his head. Man was utterly petrified, not another word left his lips, and he got off at the next stop. In conclusion, I am honoured to have been asked to present. I'm not presenting this award today, am I? Well, anyway, it's very nice to see Beryl here, surrounded by laughing children. Nothing, isn't it? Good luck.
Thanks, Andy. I was just thinking, can you imagine the changing room in their day with Dad, Jaime, Rube? How they ever got on the stage, I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, Beryl, Vice President Dr. Tom Temperley is presenting you with a Royal Briley cut glass rose bowl. It's engraved with a foundation, and it says, presented to Beryl Martin in recognition of Rube Martin's unique and inspirational contribution to physical culture. Our Vice Chairman, would you like to sit down, Beryl? Our Vice Chairman, wife Jackie Norris, is presenting a bouquet of flowers. Our Chairman's wife, Lily. We have a special cameo Hallmark Gold brooch. I ought to say that a very kind gentleman in this audience discussed this with me a long time ago, and he sent this to me for you. And as I said, it's Hallmark Gold, etc. And I'll identify him to you in private later. Okay. We have now Mr. Cliff LeMace, Chairman. I better give you the background to this one. When I was in America during the year, both Bill and Leo Stern said, is there anything that we can do for you? And I said, well, I know Beryl would love some autograph photographs, because Bill Pearl was very, very close to Rube and Beryl. So Bill has been kind of, Leo produced the photographs, Bill has autographed them, I had it framed. Mr. Cliff LeMace, Beryl, congratulations.
Thank you, Beryl. I'm sure you want to say a few words.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here this evening, as you know, to receive this award on behalf of Rube. When I received the invitation, I cannot describe how thrilled I felt and delighted, because it's such an honour. As Tom said, many of you here this evening will all have your own very special memories of a very special person. Those of you who didn't know him, well, I'm sorry for you, because you don't know what you missed. Rube was Rube, gregarious, outgoing, and a great zest for living. He always used to wear us out. But with Rube, You got what you saw. No pretences. He just got on with life. With his act, the Trois du Mille, in which I first saw him, and I think I fell in love with him then. Just incredible. I'd never seen a balancing act like it. Then, of course, we had Ruth, the weightlifter. And he once said to me, Bev, when I walked onto that field at Wembley, I was the proudest man in England. I just wish I'd been there, but I was a bit too young. Then I was. And then, of course, we had Ruth, the Mr. Universe contestant. A man of many facets, an interesting person. And he was, as Tom has said as well, an inspiration to so many. He really did become a legend in his own lifetime. So, on behalf of my family, all of whom are with me this evening, my daughter, my sons, grandchildren, I thank you for this evening. I'll treasure this always. And before I sit down, I want you to know I'm so very proud to be his wife, Shalom.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please be up standing again and bring your toast to the memory brew bar? Thank you.
I'd now like to call on the President of the Oscar Heidenstam Foundation, Mr. Ian McQueen.
Well, I think you'll agree I've got some hard acts to follow here. I'm glad that everybody else has been reading from notes, because the distinctions that Belle Pearl has earned during his physical culture life are monumental, and they are so long that they defeat even my trained memory. And to give you some idea, I had to make a list of them, and this is the piece of paper that I had to go on. There's a song that goes, I think, my love has no beginning, my love has no end. Well, Bill's distinctions certainly have a beginning, but they seem to have no end, and they're still going on. At the age of 22, in 1952, he came third in the Mr. San Diego contest. That didn't satisfy Bill Pearl, so what did he do? He starts training for the next event next year to enter again. Now, if you win £10 on the football pools one week, you think, well, I'll have another go next week, and maybe I might win more. But if in the meantime you win the Irish sweepstakes, you're not going to bother much with the football pools. And that's the sort of thing that happened to Bill Pearl, because before the Mr. San Diego contest came around next year, he had won the Mr. Oceanside, the Mr. Southern California, the Mr. California, and the Mr. America. In 1953, that's a year later, he won the NABA Mr. Universe amateur title, even while he was serving in the US Navy. There was a short spell following that when he went professional wrestling, and then he opened his own very successful gymnasium. 3 years later, he entered the Mr. USA, which is the professional Mr. America, and won that. After a 5-year rest in 1961, I'm sure it wasn't a rest, he had lots of other things to do, he entered and won the professional Mr. Universe. So he is now a double Mr. Universe winner. 6 years later, he entered again, and again won the professional Mr. Universe. That was a year when some upstart from Austria, Black Schmiegel, Schwartz thingamajig or something, came over. Anyway, there's another hiatus, and I think because the standards in bodybuilding and physical culture had developed so, people were beginning to say, well, of course, Bill Pearl was good then, but because he can't beat the guys now. Anyway, Bill came out of retirement, and in 1971, he once again won the professional Mr. Universe.
Wonderful.
Making him a 4 times Mr. Universe winner. I well remember that contest because I was standing in the wings with Oscar Heidenstam, and I had never actually spoken to Bill at that time, and he was sort of standing on the stage there, and I went up and I introduced myself. Bill may not remember. I just spoke a few words, told him who I was, and wished him well and that. And I came back off stage and back to Oscar's side, and Oscar said, well, what do you think his chances are? I said, well, he's in tremendous shape, but I'm a bit worried, Oscar. So Oscar said, why? I said, well, look, he's just standing there, and there are all the other guys doing floor dips, and they've got towels, and they're pumping up their lats, and Bill's just standing there. Can't that guy get motivated and start pumping up a bit? Oh, don't worry, said Oscar. You just wait till he starts to pose. He grows on the stage. And sure as God made little apples, he posed with the audacity and magnificence of the trained professional that he indeed was, and of course the rest is history. He won. Now, not all of us can become like reincarnated Greek gods, no matter how earnest our desire or hard our labours, but in the striving we do become better than we were, and that alone justifies the effort and is the foundation of our creed. But sure that some do achieve these lofty aims, and when they do, they serve as an inspiration to us all. They motivate us to greater efforts and raise our sights to higher limits, and so all of us, individually and collectively, benefit from the higher standards that evolve. Bill Pearl is such a man and is such a shining example. Indeed, he is a pearl of a man. Now, I went to the Oxford Dictionary and looked up the word pearl, scratching my head to try and think what I could say at this meeting. And this is what the Oxford Dictionary says. A pearl is a concretion, white or bluish-grey, within the shell of an oyster, having beautiful lustre and highly prized as a gem. Surely Bill Pearl has muscles like concrete, and who present will deny that he has a beautiful lustre, or that he is highly prized as a gem of a man, and one of nature's true gentlemen. Now all the oysters on the seabed just stay as oysters unless some little ingredient comes in and does something magical to produce this wonderful pearl. And the ingredient that helped Bill Pearl become the shining pearl that he is with us here tonight, in none other than 1946 Mr. California, Leo Stone. He was the special ingredient that helped and nurtured Bill Pearl, the shell in which Bill Pearl developed to the fine heights that he had reached. And so please let us all honour Bill Pearl and give him an ovation, and also Leo Stone.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now call on our President, Mr. Ian McQueen, to present the Diploma of Honour to Bill. I will now read the inscriptions for Bill and for you all. And this is in recognition, Bill, of your endeavour, achievements, sportsmanship, integrity and ambassadorship, which is inscribed on the diploma. It's further inscribed, your achievement will also be recorded in perpetuity on the Roll of Honour Memorial Shield, which is down at the end of the room, which accompanies the Foundation Memorial Statuette of Oscar Heidenstam. Also, your name is inscribed on the Hall of Fame induction shield, and that again is in perpetuity. It will also be in our memorial book with your photographs on your own signature in calligraphy text. Bill, Mr. Ian McQuinn. Bill, I don't think we've quite finished yet, and Cliff LeMay, our chairman, would like to present to you 2 Edinburgh crystal brandy glasses. They're hand engraved with the emblem and the date. One is inscribed Bill and the other one Judy. Judy. We also understand that on the rare occasion you'll partake in wine. So from the House of Commons in London, we've acquired a bottle of claret and a bottle of white wine, and there they are in the boxes.
Bill, if you'd like to pick up the other mic, we'll invite you to address your audience.
Board of Directors of the Oscar Heidenstam Foundation, I can't tell you what an honor this is. And I have to be really truthful. I can look at probably every table in this room and find somebody that has had a dramatic effect on my bodybuilding career and me as an individual. I can start by talking with John Grimek from Red Ireland and Forrest Leoster and Bert Loveday. I can go on and see Joe Abenda, very good friends of mine, Terry O'Neill, Roy Duval, John Citrone, all throughout the audience. People like you have helped me be what I am today. And I have a little poem that I'd like to recite that might really tell my feelings probably better than I have at this point. It's called Touching Elbows. It's written by an unknown. It goes, is it a comforting thought that at the close of the day when you're lonely, weary, and sad, that I can't say it, I'm sorry. I love you so much, I'm going to pass. I can't do any better than I've done right now. Thank you very much.
Confirms my idol. Thank you, Bill. Just before we go into the silent auction and the raffle, I think, Tom, you'd like to just say a word. Excuse me just a minute. Is that one, Mark?
Yeah, we're okay. Ladies and gentlemen, just to digress for a moment, in meetings and gatherings of this type, you usually find that 50% of the audience is interested and enthralled by what's going on. The other 50% are bored out of their minds. Now, one of the advantages of that is the fact that when they're bored out of their minds, they indulge in bizarre sexual fantasies. We hope that the first 50% enjoy themselves, and we know the second 50% will enjoy themselves. So I would like to join me in thanking Malcolm and Cliff and Colin and their wives for all the effort they put into this event, because I think it's our 4th event and it's surpassed the other 3. Thank you.
I suppose you want to say something now. Keep it short.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Oh, well, that was it. That was short. Okay, it's time to thank the folks who... we're going to do the silent auction first. And we've got your number and we've got the amount that you've bid. So you don't have to go and collect your prize now, but the young ladies will be giving it out at a certain later on. So, the Steve Reeves printed photograph, we thank you, number 201, for your £70 donation. Thank you very much. For the Bill Pearl framed photograph, number 142, we thank you for your £40 donation. For football, I hope I've got this, 133, thank you for your £4.50. It all goes to a good cause. Book, the epic film, number 157, we thank you for your £60 donation. Keys to the Inner Universe by Bill Pearl, number 85, we thank you for your £46 donation. The video of the bodybuilding plus 4, number 101, thank you for your £10 donation. The Mag Steve Reeves, number 157, you have bid £15, thank you very much. Stop clapping. You said you want some socialising at the end, we've got to get it done. The programmes, thank you very much for the 1950 programme, number 100, we thank you for your £15 donation. The picture, frame and photograph, 141, thank you for your £65, and I'm saying these figures off like that, but we do, that was Bill Pearl's photograph, we do thank you for this. I'm sorry I'm sort of going through it. We appreciate every pound, well, the people we give it to, we appreciate it. Number 117, thank you for your £10. 141 for the Bill Pearl photograph, thank you for your £15. For the Vintage Bodybuilding Mags, 201, you bid £15, thank you very much. The 6 crystal wine glasses, number 39, thank you for your donation of £24. Steve Reeves Fan Club, Pike, thank you, number 157 for your £35. The video of the 1967 Universe, 83, I think I've got that, 250 because I was there. I made a fool of myself that day. Bill Pearl's come down with the rest of them. I got up out of the seat, run up to him and shook his hand. When I ran and sat down again, I thought, what did I just do? But that's how awesome he was. And then we've got magazine for the beautiful Your Figure. 201 is £8, thank you very much. And the training of the body, 142, £17. I don't know what this one is, I can't read it. Thank you, Diane, for your £5. It's a rare book, thank you very much. Another one here, another book, The History of Culture, Physical Culture. Thank you again, Diane, for your 15. A gold pen, number 39, thank you for your £5. The Foundation Paperweight, thank you, number 87, for your £15. Bound HMS Volumes, 201, thank you for your £25. And the clock, 113, thank you for your £45. The Son of Samson Barbell and Beefcake, number 100 ticket holder, thank you for your £15. I'm only telling you so you know how much you've got to put out later on. The bodybuilding belt, 153, thank you for your £5. And the radio cassette, number 88, thank you for your £15. And the box of body powder, number 85, thank you for your £10. And bodybuilding monthly binder and sweatshirt, number 101, thank you for your £12. And what's that one? Yeah, the video, thank you, number 95 for £5. Oh, the video's better than the writing. The Egyptian ashtrays, number 12, £44. Arnold's book, number 31, £3. Is that about it? Now we're going on to the draw now. Right. Get your tickets out. Let's get mine out. Blue ticket, 407. What does the blue ticket want? 407. Two mugs. 7, 8, 9. And you have received Getting in Shape book by Bill Pearl. Could you put your hand up? Hey, no. He's brought his own ticket out. Tell you what, come here, what do you want out of these prizes? No, did you want that, or do you want the chocolate? Do you want some chocolate? Take the book. No. You take it. Can you have the chocolate? Yeah. Bill, he didn't like your book. No, that's the right one. Large blue figures. Large blue ones. 961. 961 blue. The large ones. Hey. House of Commons Claret. House of Commons Claret. Have you got the claret? Over to Angela. The glass is empty, yeah. Small blue figures, small blue, 198. Hand up, 198. Small blue. Have we got it? 198. Let me have a look at my figure. I haven't got it. You've got it. Right, yeah. 453. You're supposed to be concentrating your video. He's videoing this. He's gone to sleep. Mind you, I don't blame him. You've got a year's subscription to Bodybuilding Monthly. Brilliant. Oh, Wag, you'll love this. It's a popping popcorn game. Yeah, something to do on a dark winter's night. Oh, sorry, it's been won. You can't wag. I've just been told you can't have it, somebody else has got it. What? What can you have instead? Glasses? Oh, well. He's got the glasses. I just blue. 478 large letters. Who's got the large blue letters? Anna DeVal. £100 travel voucher from this has been kindly donated by Omnia Travel, and thank you very much, Omnia Travel, via Mr. Edward Hankey, and that goes to Anna Royster. Okay, you can use it on the bus, on the train, on the plane. 96796, and it's Anna, and it's engraved tankards. Engraved tankards for Anna.
Fortnight in Miami, please.
Right, green ticket, last prize, the CD player. It's on a green ticket, and it's 840. 840? Oh no. It's my brother. There's a boot sale down the road tomorrow, you'll see us there, we'll work this one out. Thank you very much again for all your donations, and
if you would just like to come to the table. Another couple of minutes. I will take the shot in just a moment. On the count of 2. 1. 1 and 2 and 1 more bill. Okay, Bill. 1 and 2. Good. And I'll go. Same again. 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Oh, by the way, Bill, there's 2 flashes. It's the picture's taken on the second. 1 and 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ian with 2. That was perfect. Now I'd like Beryl with Bill on the right. And Leo, we'd like you in on this photo call, please. On the count. Are you right there? On the count of 2. Okay, and it's 2 flashes, Beryl. 1 and 2. Perfect. Now, Leo, would you like... This is going to be a winner on the count of 2, all right? 1 and 2. Good. Thank you. And would somebody be kind enough to take a photograph? Very good. I like
Thank you very much.
Can you hold it, please? We have yeah, sure.
Thank you for having me. Who would you like this to? Thank you very, very much for asking. There you go. Thank you very much, David.
Okay, mate. Hey, ready?
There we go.
Thanks, mate.
Is this you, George?
Take one of you.
Yeah, trigger action. Well, I really appreciate it. And I'm thankful for Raymond coming to share all this. Who is this for? Jan, J-A-N? J-E-A-N? Yeah, I'm sorry. There you go, George. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Tony, I'll be here. Thanks. How you doing? Is this for you, Doug? Is this your pen? Well, I'll give it back. Okay, I promise you. Thank you. All right. How you doing?
I should have 2 there.
May I do it right here?
T-I-N-A.
Les? Thank you very much, Jerry.
You're very up there.
Eric, where's he at? Okay. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Okay. How you doing, Cyril? Well, I'll do that. Now I just got to get back when I break it. Well, you're a good guy. I appreciate you coming by to say hi. Well, I really appreciate you coming by to say hi. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. How you doing? Good to see you. I can remember your name, Bill. That's great. Thank you. Vicky, is that her name? Thank you very much for coming by to say hi, Bill. Thank you. This helps a lot. Well, what it helps is it makes my job a lot easier. Are you competing in this contest?
Excuse me, Bill. Can I have a photograph?
You can, just 1 second, and I'll be right with you. There you go. Good luck to you. 1 second, here. Here we are.
Thank you.
You bet. Beautiful. My wife will love it. She really will.
This is
everywhere.
Leo Stern, of course, from America. You've heard the speech. This is his award. I won't go into any more details than that. Cut glass out of there. And Leo, it's been an absolute delight. I know Leo doesn't like flying. And I think the last time he came to England was in 1971. So we're particularly honoured that Leo has come over with Bill Pearl, and he didn't know he came over to accompany Bill Pearl and to honour us. This is the least we can do to honour Leo. I hope you enjoy the sherry, Leo.
I will, and no one's getting it but me. Last time I had this was when I was with Rube back in I think it was 1961. So that was 30 years. Yeah, that was quite a while.
You're still 21?
Yeah, I'm still 21.
What changes have you seen? Did you enjoy this particular... I'm not searching for compliments, but did you enjoy the way this was run this evening?
It's very unique, and it was enjoyable for everybody. Everyone got involved, which is the way it should be. And the humor was there in your little talks and speeches, and it was just a very, very fine evening. And the way you laid this thing out, I've never, and I've been at this a long time and seen quite a bit of things, I've never seen anything quite like this. And I'm very glad that I did come.
Thank you very much, Leo.
It's really a pleasure to come back to England.
Thank you very much. You've seen many, many, many people, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go over in a moment to see, obviously, your close friend, Bill Pearl, but he's got a queue of people right round the other side of the room, still queuing for his autograph, so that's the measure of Bill, and he must be pretty thirsty. We go over now and see John Grimek.
Come on in. Don't tell you after you've been married for 55 years.
So there's John. That's John Grimek, USA. John Grimek, USA. Nearly 11:30. It's nearly midnight here. It's been a long day, and here he still is talking and meeting with everybody. King John Grimek.
I got him out.
My very close friend and journalistic historian David Gentle, who is writing actually at this moment in time, on the 18th of March 1995, writing a book about John and Grimek.
My friend John, and it's going to be a good story too.
I can't say more than that, just to ask John, did you enjoy yourself?
Certainly, I don't enjoy it because I hurt my darn leg, but otherwise I'm fine. I hope to enjoy more. But it's all right. I enjoyed the crowd.
Let's hope that your leg soon improves. And
I wanted to improve.
Let me introduce you to
Eric Hartley.
Eric Hartley is a very famous bodybuilder in this country.
Yeah, I know.
And he's been training for a long time and competing, and he's now coming up to international standard. In fact, he's now been competing internationally.
You can't beat that. And you're on the way. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sure. This is going to this is Phil. Colin, my brother, me, and my eldest boy is in Gibraltar. I'm riding to him, and I want you to sign this with the photo. We want the photo first. No, Phil, I think. Oh yeah, that's in the middle. We're ready, aim.
1 and a 2 then, okay? A 1,
smiling.
A 1 and a 2.
Okay.
Brilliant. Perfect. Come on,
Give one to Diana. No, you're not done yet.
Patrick, what's
You're-
coming?
you gotta stick it.
Do you mind if I get This is Mr. David Webster from Scotland. He, like David Gentle, is a world authority, a PC historian. And David, it's wonderful to see you here.
It's great to be here. I travel a long way. Anytime I could come, I'll be here whenever possible.
Thank you very much.
It's a real pleasure.
Thank you very much, David.
And you do a great job. Thanks,
Thank you.
You really do.
We're honoured by David's presence because David travels the world, literally travels the world, and he's very seldom in this country. But he made a special journey to be here tonight, particularly to be with your pearls. Thank you for that, David.
You couldn't honour a better person here tonight. You've done all the greatest ones.
And ladies and gentlemen, don't you think so about this? Look at this outfit.
Sally Reese was saying, what's that? What's it for? And I was saying, I keep my money in it. She said, why do you do that? I said, well, even if my pocket's picked, I can still enjoy the experience.
Edit. This is something just for my wife. I was so busy this evening, and she helps me every year, and it couldn't be done without her help. And last year, I had the thought to buy her a great big bunch of red roses. So the one I have here is from my heart. They say behind every man there's an even better woman, and here she is, my wife Wendy. Thank you very much.
Hello again. You will remember that during our speeches at the dinner I mentioned about Miss Cressida Merritt Webb, the ballet star that was unable to attend for us to give her some surprises in presenting the various awards. We arranged, we just told her not to worry and that we'll be in touch in some time. It was rather a moving occasion because Cressida dances for the Northern Ballet Theatre in Halifax and Leeds, and so I liaised with Michael Barrett Pink, a director of the ballet company, to go along in a complete surprise to meet Cressida at the Marlow Theatre in Canterbury, where she had the lead role dancing in the ballet Swan Lake. This was on the 27th of May 1995. Ian McQueen, our president, and Tom Templey, vice president, and Cliff LeMace, our vice chairman, wasn't able to be there. They were all out of the country at that time. But my vice chairman, Colin Norris, and his wife Jackie, and my wife Wendy, we were invited along to the theatre, and the cast was asked to stay behind afterwards. No one knew why. Mr. Michael Barrett Pink had been very, very kind in liaising with me on what might be described as a covert or MI5 type operation to keep everything a secret and to give Cressida the surprise. I would like to thank Jackie Norris, that's Colin's wife, for filming that particular presentation, and also apologise that whilst we were filming there was some background music early on which made it rather difficult to hear what was being said. This is why I'm giving you some of the background now, but it is rather a moving piece of film. Cressida's career goes back several years, and early on she developed a back condition which virtually led to her being a cripple and unable to walk. And over a period of 2 years she persevered with physiotherapy. She was in hospital several times, during which her mother died, and yet she had the tenacity and the dedication to ballet to fight her way back to stardom. Her former dance teachers have told me what a wonderful student she was. She was always a brilliant student, very creative, and so willing to help other people. she was very generous and she was very inspirational. And here she is now, a ballet star or ballerina, taking the lead role. The ballet was very, very professionally done, most enjoyable. 2,000 people in the theatre, and I think I ought to let the filming tell you the rest of the story. I'm sure had Oscar been alive, he would have looked down with a great deal of happiness, and I do hope it will bring you some enjoyment.
Thoroughly enjoyable performance. We were very, very impressed with all people up there. We come here today from the Oscar Heidenstam Foundation to honour a member of your cast, Cressida. This goes back a long way. The foundation was formed 4 years ago by fellow trustees to honour and award exceptional people, able-bodied and disabled, throughout the world. And one of the categories was ballet. We researched it very, very carefully as we do all our awards, and Cressida joined the select few. She is only the third recipient. I'd like to thank Michael, his assistants, covert operation in fact. Cressida knows that I approached her through Anna Issa back in November with the view to inviting her to our annual function at the Hotel Marriott in London, which is the Hall of Fame Awards. Unfortunately, the last minute, beg your pardon, Cressida wasn't able to attend, and she phoned me on the morning of our Hall of Fame Awards, and I said, "Don't worry, Cressida, we will see you sometime in the future." Through Michael, where we did an MI5 operation to make today possible, and we very much appreciate it. Cressida, you said to me some months ago, "Why me? Why do you want to invite me to a hotel?" So I had to explain it was to make a special presentation. She has no idea what. And it goes back a long way. We know the dedication and hard work that you all have to do in ballet, possibly more so than in gymnastics, and swimming and diving and physical culture, categories that we also award. And Cressida was very seriously injured and developed a serious injury some years ago, which nearly finished her career. I spoke to Anne Stannard, the Central School of Arts, who tells me Cressida is an exceptional student, very creative, very kind, and most generous to everybody around her. We realise what she's been through. We have a letter from our president, Mr. Ian McQueen, who is British, who was a consultant surgeon in Croydon in Surrey, and now runs his own clinic in America. Dr. Tom, he cannot be with us today, but I will give you that letter later, Cressida. Dr. Tom Tembley, OBE, is a consultant, but he travels the world and he can't be here. And Mr. Cliff LeMace, our chairman, for other reasons, business reasons in Jersey, he cannot be here, but they all send their wishes to all of you and their love of Cressida. Colin and I are fortunate to be able to be here today. You've overcome so much, Cressida. At one time, I was told by other people that she doesn't know about her, that she was almost unable to walk. She was in hospital. She fought back to stardom, and what's more, she is inspirational to all around her. So Cressida, congratulations. I'll call now upon Colin Norris to present, first of all, our diploma of merit to you. Wording there is for your outstanding endeavour, which has benefited and inspired others. We also have a foundation cheque for you
And also a letter from our President, Mr. Queen. And my wife, Wendy, will present you. There's also another small present, and in here is the background to the foundation, yourself and many other things. And my wife, Wendy, will present you with roses.
Would you mind? I know you're busy.
A 1 and 2. Wonderful.
Thank you very much. We would like to take you to the rest of your own. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. We'd like to we do it on the and we'll try one more.